Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into a really powerful idea from the work of psychologist Carol Dweck. And honestly, it's an idea so fundamental it can completely reshape how you look at success, failure, and maybe even who you are. We're talking about mindset.
So, let's just jump right in with a big question. What if everything you think you're capable of, your talent, your smarts, your whole future, wasn't really set in stone? What if it all hinged on just one single belief you hold in your head?
The whole discovery of this idea started with a simple experiment. Carol Dweck was trying to solve a puzzle of her own, really. She was fascinated by why some people can bounce back from failure, almost energized by it, while other people are just completely crushed.
So to figure this out, she brought kids into a room and gave them a series of puzzles. The first few were pretty easy, to give them a little confidence, a taste of success, but then the puzzles started getting a lot harder.
And as the challenge really ramped up, something interesting happened. Some of the kids got frustrated. They got defensive. You could see them thinking the struggle meant they just weren't smart enough. But another group of kids, well, they did something Dweck never saw coming.
And this was the big aha moment. One 10-year-old boy, faced with a really tough puzzle, didn't shrink away. He actually pulled his chair closer, rubbed his hands together, and you could just feel his excitement when he said, "I love a challenge." For him, the difficulty wasn't a threat. It was the fun part. And that one reaction just changed everything.
So what was the difference, right? What separated the kids who crumbled from the kids who got fired up? Dweck realized it wasn't about ability at all. It came down to a core belief they held about themselves. It boiled down to two very different, very powerful mindsets.
So first up, you've got the fixed mindset. This is the belief that your intelligence, your personality, your creative talent, all of it is basically carved in stone. You're born with a certain amount, and that's pretty much it. So your whole life becomes about proving you've got a lot of it.
And then, on the other side, there's the growth mindset. This is the belief that your basic abilities are things you can actually cultivate and grow through effort. It's this idea that, yeah, brains and talent are a great starting point, but your true potential is something you build over time. And when you put them side by side like this, the difference is just staggering. This one little belief completely changes your worldview. See, in a fixed mindset, your main goal is to look smart, which means you're going to avoid challenges you might fail at. But in a growth mindset, your goal is to learn, so you actually embrace those challenges.
Okay, let's make this super real with a quick scenario. Just imagine you're having one of those days. It all starts in a class you actually care about, and you get a C+ on a big midterm. Ouch. You're definitely disappointed.
Then, to top it off, you get back to your car, and there it is, a parking ticket stuck on the windshield. The frustration is just really starting to build now.
And for the grand finale, you call your best friend, just needing to vent for a second, but they seem totally distracted and kind of brush you off. So there you have it, a perfect storm of failure and rejection. How do you deal with it?
Well, if you're in a fixed mindset, these aren't just things that happened. They're a verdict on who you are. You start to internalize it. That C+ means I'm stupid. The ticket means I'm an idiot. The brush off means nobody likes me. The failure stops being an action, something you did, and becomes an identity. I am a failure.
But now, let's look at the exact same day through the lens of a growth mindset. It's completely different. It doesn't give you a verdict, it gives you a to-do list. The C+ means, okay, I need to figure out a better way to study. The ticket means, gotta be more careful about where I park. And your friend's reaction? It makes you curious, not crushed. It's all just information you can use to learn and get better.
And this plays out everywhere, but you can see it so clearly in the high-stakes world of sports, where the pressure is insane and every failure is out there for the world to see.
For example, take the tennis legend John McEnroe. He was a classic fixed mindset case. He believed talent was everything, so if he lost, it could never be his fault, because that would mean he wasn't talented. So he'd blame the racket, the crowd, the weather, anything to protect his identity as a natural genius.
Now compare that to Michael Jordan. Listen to this quote. He didn't see failure as something to avoid or blame on others. He saw it as the very ingredient for his success. He basically viewed himself as a constant work in progress. He didn't become great in spite of his failures. He became great because of them.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, this is great. I want more of that growth mindset, but how do you actually do it? Well, one of the most powerful and kind of surprising ways is to change how we praise people.
Yeah, get this. Dweck's research showed that praising kids for being smart actually backfires.
It pushes them into a fixed mindset. Suddenly, they're afraid to take on challenges where they might not look smart. In her studies, some kids who were praised for intelligence even started lying about their scores to protect that label. It feels good to say, but it's really dangerous praise.
So what's the solution? It's simple. Praise the process, not the person. Instead of saying, wow, you're so smart, try something like, I love how hard you worked on that problem, or that was a really clever strategy you used there. This focuses on things that are in their control, their effort, their choices, and it makes them want to keep stretching themselves.
To make this change in yourself, Dweck offers a really practical 4-step guide. First, just start to notice and hear that fixed mindset voice in your head. Second, recognize that you actually have a choice. You don't have to believe it. Third, consciously talk back to that voice with a growth mindset perspective. And finally, and this is the most important part, take the growth mindset action. Embrace the challenge.
And this gets to the true promise of the growth mindset. If you believe you can grow, then you can't be defined by one test or one failure anymore. Your potential isn't some fixed thing we can measure today. It's something that unfolds over a lifetime of passion and effort and learning.
I love this quote from Dweck because it just nails it. The fixed mindset is all about the pressure to be perfect right now. But the growth mindset is about giving yourself the freedom, the luxury to become better over time.
It really is a journey, not a destination. And it leaves us with one last really powerful question to think about. If you truly believed your abilities could grow, if you weren't afraid of failing, if talent was just the starting line, what could you become?